Hi. Hello, everyone. Well, I don't see anyone just yet, but this is Debbie Diment. She's
Everyone.
back. This is the fourth time you've come here to talk about
Thank you.
energy healing, and she's an animal healer, and she always leads us through a nice grounding and a nice healing because really this has been, these eclipses, this Scorpio moon, and she's gonna say what that is associated with in her Lemurian astrology. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, and they are very similar. Similar. Hi, Joyful Journey. Hi, Kate K. Muldoon.
Oh,
Nice to
wonderful.
see you here. Yeah. Hi, everybody. We're getting some people. So we'll have she will lead us through a grounding, and she will lead us offer a healing, and you can accept that if you like. Um, I'm really concerned. Well, I'm always concerned about energy, so it's not like it's something new. But this last eclipse energy and this full moon in Scorpio energy has really had me turned inside out, like upside down. And as I'm coming out of it, I'm thinking I'm okay and everything's good, and then I get knocked out. I got to take a nap, or something else is going on, or I'm really hungry, or I just need to sit down and not hear anything. But Debbie is going to help us through that and talk about what we can do when the energies get get like this. And you had an injury, Debbie. She
Yeah.
injured her. Yeah, she injured her knee, and maybe you want to go into that and how that's unfolding for you.
Well, would
For
you
you.
like me to do that after I do the grounding and
Sure,
the
sure.
other exercise?
We have 7 people here, so I was just going to, if you wanted, however you want to do it. If you wanted to wait a couple minutes, or if you want to go ahead now. Let me see. I'm checking on my phone too. My phone is behind, so I don't know what's going on. All right. Um,
Well, like I said, if you would like, what I can do is I can start talking off about my injury, or would you like me to start off with the moon so that we get more people in here? I think the last few times that I've done the energy stuff, people have been a little come in the middle of it sort of a deal.
yeah,
So maybe if we do the talking first,
yeah,
we can do
and
the energy balancing a little bit later. Or if
yeah,
you would like, I can even start off with a harmonization thing, another Lemurian different type style harmonization, which could just get us, the ones that are here, let's go ahead and just get us a little bit balanced.
okay.
That
Thank
work?
you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so it's just a little bit of Lemurian light language here. We're going to go. Tihe, mori, ora, mahaka watahi. Iti ingwa, tito irite o atawana. Wayuitapu. Iti ingwa, tifanui, tarani, tikatao. Wayuitapu. Iti ingwa, tifaya, tamatua, titama. Wayuitapu. Tihe, mori, ora. There we go. And what
Beautiful.
that was kind of to bring everybody into balance and into harmony. And we went through energy, vibration, frequency, energy. We went through land, water, sky, and we went through whew, female energy, male energy, and the child, the potentiality of the child. So
Wow, that's
that was.
beautiful. That
Some
was
of you
beautiful. That was a harmonizing. Thank you so much.
have
And we are going to get into the topic of what does divine masculine and divine feminine actually mean. Just so I can don't forget, because I want to say this a couple of times throughout the while Debbie's here throughout the show. Her links are up above in the chat. She is offering a 20% off everything in her shop, and both links are there if you're interested. And we'll go into that a little bit more. Do you want to discuss those now or later?
Yeah, sure. And especially since Kay is in here, Kay Modune, and forgive me, but there was another person that had already contacted me. What you're going to find if you follow those links to my shop, there are 2 different categories that are on sale. What's going to happen is if you're on my website, on my shop site, so you're going to see like the Lemurian birth sign collection, or you will also see the shiatsu template transmissions. When you go to get off the page, it's going to have a pop-up come up, and it will ask for your email. Don't worry, I don't tend to. I'm definitely not selling anybody's anything, and I'm not spamming. I'm not the sort to do that. But what's going to happen is when that happens, put in your email for me. It's for a first-time buyer, and it's going to generate a code. Copy that code, and it will give you 20% off of your first order. Now that's for the Lemurian collection. So any of the Lemurian birth sign items that I have for sale. So we've got mugs, t-shirts, and hoodies of all 13 birth signs. Those are Lemurian. And then I also have 20% off of the MP3s. And a little bit later on, if you haven't seen me before, I do energy balancing, and that is the meridians. The shiatsu is the time or the type that I use, but the meridians are the meridians for any system. And what I do is an energy balancing, and that's primarily for the species that are on there. You're going to find that it's also going to balance pretty much anybody that's in the room. And Kay, and there was, like I said, one other lady. I'm actually going to reach out with you a little bit later and give you that code, that coupon code, so that you can take advantage of that as well. Because I'm not sure, since I already have your email, I'm not sure if the thingy would trigger for you or not. I just want to make sure that it's fair.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. And she does have 3 specific, one for horses, one for cats, one for the dogs. Yeah. And but like she said, they do all work for anybody in the room. It doesn't matter.
You're gonna find the same time that you're playing it for, say, your kitty cat or your dog, it's gonna be working on your own energy system. And if you are sensitive to energy, don't be surprised if you can suddenly feel like me touching the top of your head or your neck or your back. It can feel really weird if you're sensitive to energy. And I say that because I use them on myself. And so it's a little freaky feeling whenever something is touching your head or your neck or something. And it's like, it's just strange because it's like, I'm touching me, but
that you feel it. You feel the energy. I love that. Personally, I love when I get like a little jolt of electricity or energy. And I think it would be wonderful. And in the last 3 videos, we've covered a lot of information the last times we were here. But Debbie always does a grounding ceremony and a healing session. So if you ever need in a pinch, need some help, they're there for you.
Yes.
I might make those into short videos if that's okay with you.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, once I figure it out. Anyway, oh my goodness. So
did you want to talk about the, because I know that you had mentioned the Scorpio Moon. Do you want me to talk about the Lemurian Moon right now?
Sure.
And do you want me to mention the male-female thing that we were talking about backstage right now?
Yeah, that would be perfect, because I think that's kind of I'm not saying everybody needs help pulling through these energies, but I think any help would be definitely appreciated for sure.
As Valerie was saying, this is the astrology section is known as Scorpio Moon, and that's normally very daunting for people. Now I tend to in the astrology in the draconian astrology, then I have Scorpio Moon myself. And the moon sign is going to control your emotions. How you present your personality is, and so I get it when people are like, Scorpio, and it's like, Scorpio is pretty intense, isn't it? But as I was telling Valerie, Scorpio Moon actually translates to Kahuku, which is the sign of the butterfly in the Lemurian system.
Okay.
And part of the finesse, I guess you could say, of a Scorpio is that they're lords of transformation. That's usually the death cycle is what people are really all about. But it's different, you know? I mean, when you look at a butterfly, they're going from the death of a caterpillar to the transformation into a butterfly.
Absolutely.
And that speaks very much the same system. And that is also the same system that will be tied in with spirituality, just exactly like Scorpio will be.
Yeah.
Very keen on spirituality.
Very keen. And death and rebirth, like you said, that's part of it, you know, because I think,
you know, there again, people get kind of freaked out over it, but what it is
transition.
Our egos are very much concerned with keeping us stuck in the now because it has managed to keep us alive until now.
Right.
So any perceived change is considered transformation is considered scary. You know, they're going to avoid that at all costs. So yes, it's connected to change, but change can be very healthy. I mean, what if you're letting go of a toxic pattern that doesn't serve you anymore? You know, what if you're actually looking for your high road, and that means letting go of some behavior that just really doesn't serve you anymore?
Right. And that's life, right? Isn't that? I mean, that is life. We go through these changes, right? It's constant change.
You're not the same person you were as a teenager. You're not the same person you were as a young adult. And it's not people. We tend to look back and we judge it either with rose-colored glasses or we judge ourselves harshly. Right. But you were doing what you did with the amount of information and, quite frankly, the programming that you had at that stage of your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is
you know, as long as you're trying to reach for the higher frequency and the higher levels, because you have a choice.
I wrote that all down
all the time. You can either take the low road or you can take the high road.
We hadn't talked. We talked for a few minutes in the back, and everything she said, I wrote down. So I think it's fascinating. It's about choosing your frequency and the vibration you want. You want unconditional love or fear. We're always offered that choice in every moment. And this is the good thing about butterflies and Scorpio and all of it. We have to release to rebuild it, to recreate what it is you would prefer to experience now. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact, you know, they always call it the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Butterfly flapping his wings somewhere around the world can affect quite frankly, global issues and the weather on the other side of the world. Something so delicate, moving its wings.
And isn't that, I mean, it's just mind-blowing when you think of it, you know, because the change is constant. There's so much that affects our immediate environment at any moment, and it is up to us to have awareness and observe what is motivating us forward or keeping us stuck or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you need to be aware of if you are in a state of fear or shame or guilt or anger, and you're looking at a page or you're listening to a TV show or listening to a podcast or you're listening to a radio show or something, hit the button, turn it off. You're actually being manipulated. Okay? The second that you become aware that it is messing up your energy system, stop that. And immediately go to anything that is going to make you laugh. I know it sounds very silly, very Pollyanna, but what's going to happen is when you laugh, it automatically raises your frequency. It's going to dissipate the old and silly animal videos. are perfect for that. Cats playing with, kittens playing with, getting into
Yeah.
silly stuff. You know,
So,
they're always around and things. So use that to your advantage.
yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
yeah,
again the choice we have, right? We have that choice in every moment. And once you're aware that you're starting to drop in frequency or vibration, it is up to us to,
and some of the stuff that I'm talking about with, in case, I don't know if, because I can't see the comments, so I don't know if anybody's new here, but some of the information that I've been sharing with Valerie is to do with the Lemurian birth signs and the Lemurian system. And this was something that I was shoved into in 2021. I had dolphins and whales actually come to me in my meditation, and they said, "You're going to learn this." And I was like, okay, now you can't really argue with a whale. So the birth signs, at the time I was really heavy into regular astrology. And the birth signs, the Lemurian birth signs actually are a more natural operating system. And so they are a 13 sign operating system. And what that is 12 signs are going to rotate around the central sun, which makes up the 13th symbol, which is Ma'ita, the central sun, which is actually located in the Alkian belt. That's where our photons, our undistorted light, comes from. And as it comes through, each month has its own stargate that the light is going to come through. Right now, it's coming through Mata, which is Mars in the evening. And we will be, well, I guess we could go ahead and just share that information right now if we'd like.
Yeah, sure.
For right now, what we are in the month of April, which is called Tuatara in the Lemurian birth cycle. And so again, the light is coming from the central sun, and it is coming through Mars in the evening and shining onto us. It's not just for the people that were born in April. It's for every one of us. And the essence of this month actually is the smile. So
man.
Now, as we move through the last few days of April, what's going to happen is we will be moving into the pure energy from the central sun. And that is called Ma'ita, crystal light of days, is what that is.
Oh, wow.
And that will be on the 29th and the 30th. That makes up, those 2 days will go straight to Ma'ita, and that helps to make up the days for that 13th month. Yeah. Now, the month of May that we're moving towards is called Toroa. That birth sign is the sign of the albatross. And if you've ever seen an albatross, they have mighty wingspans. They struggle to get up into the air. Once they're actually up in the air, they will stay up there for hours, really long time before they come back down again.
Can you say that name again? The name of
it's called Toroa.
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 Yes. Roa.
Yes.
I can't roll the word.
It's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a you have to slow down a little bit for that one.
So how would you connect? I mean, what was last month when you were here? It was
or do you mean for March?
Yeah.
Which month? For March it was called Honu.
Honu.
Yes. And that was the sign of the sea turtle.
The sea turtle, that's right.
March was the sea turtle. And then April, current month of April, is Tuatara, which is the smile. And so in May, it will be Toroa. And that will be, the essence on that is actually determination. And because they go up into the observer mode, it's the last month in the Lemurian calendar.
Oh, next month is?
So it's the last, May will be the last month for the Lemurian 2024.
Pretty cool.
So in June 1st will be my new year. So it will be the first month, and we'll be in June. We'll begin in June with the rising of the Pleiades, basically.
So I love that. So you're saying the central sun, or one of the suns in Alcyon, bring in
Alcyon.
the codes, right? Like I see
Yes,
that. That's why I
yes,
see our astrology, like our central sun sends information to our local sun, soul,
yes.
and this is how
Because
we
if you
receive
look at it,
information.
yeah, if you look at it, it is actual photons coming
Yeah,
from the Alcyon belt.
yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I know other people call it Alcyon. I took Latin, unfortunately, so everybody's like beat me over the head. C's or K's, hard K sound.
It's you can say it any way you want. I think it's cool because I think that everything that is in space is bringing energy down to us, and
Yes,
we
and that's
merge
where the
with it.
importance is. Okay, so when I say that we're being manipulated, I mean there is a lot of, okay, with the Capricorn system that we are transitioning out of and we're going into Age of Aquarius. That's
Yes.
the old, all of that is the older operating system. The Lemurian actually is the new operating system. And I can safely tell you this because you're actually on the same timeline as me. So you're more than, if you're on this call with me or you found this recording, you are ready for this information.
Mm-hmm.
Let it sink in. You don't have to, it's not an either or, it's an and, it's a bridging, just like nature does. Nature doesn't just up and destroy something with nothing in between. There's always
Right.
something new coming along. And that's where she's coming in with the Lemurian stuff, saying that was the system that we needed for our older way, for the
Right.
Capricorn way. You know, we needed structure in Capricorn. That's what Capricorn ruled.
Right.
But right now, for Aquarius, that is what is called tyranny. That is the sign of the hummingbird, tiny voice of heaven. So there is sacred energy, sacred geometries and energies coming from the photon belt that is going to be hitting us directly. And as Valerie illustrated earlier, it's a whammy, especially for those of us that are older. You newer people are not going to be having, you know, if you're younger, like in your teens, you won't have as big a struggle because you weren't in the same energy systems as we are. That we're
Right.
older. And so when she's talking about getting suddenly famished or suddenly needing to sleep, that's because our bodies are changing because of the photon, the information that's coming directly in. And what happened with the old system is you had energy that was coming in. And as you noticed, it was coming from the different planets, the different, you know, our sun and our moon and everything was giving us information. And then it was coming into our planet. It hits specific distortion fields as it's coming through. That's why so much change happens to us. That's why all of us are still struggling, quote, 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 because what we're trying to undo is the filters, the distortion. So
Right.
as we're
Yeah.
getting the Lemurian stuff, as we're getting, especially like the Maita days, the 29th and the 30th that's coming up, if you get a day, the Maita days are always 29, 30, or 31. Those are going to be full of just the pure light from the sun, from the
Mm-hmm.
central sun. But you will also be getting the pure light, the undistorted light coming through the stargates each month. So, you know, right now it's coming straight from Mars, unfiltered. So you can do your meditations on that. You can be getting your information from that. And that helps to chip away at and dismantle and undo the distortions.
The
The
distortions.
coding that I started off with at the beginning of this call actually undoes. When I was bringing us into alignment with the vibration, the frequency, the energy,
Mm-hmm.
and the land, the water, the sky, male, female, and child, that actually is an undoing of the distortions that we had. And like I was telling Valerie backstage, one of the distortions, one of the tricks that were played on us is the male female thing.
Yeah.
And where we are having a lot of confusion, unnecessary confusion about, is it a male? Is it a female? We all have male female energy. Yes, we do. And the reason why is because the actual female energy is our hearts. The actual male energy for us is our heads. The child meets at the high heart. It's the ascended high heart. So yes, all of us have a male, we have a female, And we have the child, which is pure potentiality. Think about a kid. Whenever they come in, they are a clean slate. Anything can happen to a child. Anything. That's pure potentiality. And so when you're balanced, you know, you ask your heart, what does my heart feel? Is this good for me? Is this something that I really want to pursue? And then logically, you need your head, because it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Am I, you know, it feels great, but am I going to walk off a cliff? Let's, you know, think about this logically. Do the numbers match up? And when the two are actually blended together and in balance, you have a discussion between your head and your heart. You know, where do you want to be? How's this going to look? And how is it going to end? When that happens, magic happens. It flows. It flows.
It is so beautiful, and it's so true. It is, but they have like the distortion, and this is kind of like what we're unraveling, right? We have to, the undoing, and that's perfect. All the things that because we've been here quite a while, no longer than the younger generations, but those that programming, and on every aspect, every level of our being, we've all, and most of us here have come to this place where we've unraveled it, you know. We still get stuck though. We still have stuff stuck in there, like in that Scorpio full moon really brought that to my attention. And I know it's brought it to a lot of others' attentions, because I understand a lot of us felt really discombobulated during that time.
Well, think about the caterpillar. I mean, my word. Think about the distortions and the discomfort and the holy moly, my world's just being pulled apart, because they're literally being pulled apart.
That's what I felt like, actually. Yeah. And there's this thing I want to say this about the caterpillar and the butterfly. You never see a butterfly. Oh goodness, now I forget how to say talking caterpillar language. You know, it's just that they can't. The caterpillar has no idea he's going to turn, or she's going to turn into this butterfly. You know, and the butterfly is gone once it's already turned. So I thought that was fascinating. I heard that a few months ago. But that's what we're doing here. We're unraveling the programming. And as new systems come in line, new light codes, new astrology systems, you know, 13 signs, which actually regular astrology, or I'm not sure if it was Vedic or Western, but used to be we had a calendar. Didn't we have a 13, like long time ago, before that they came in and distorted
other people will know. I think it's the pagans, and also I love the pagans.
Yeah.
But also the lunar system, I think, is also based 13 months.
Right. And that was
again nature based. Right. Nature knows.
Nature knows. That's right. Nature based. And that was on purpose, and that was, my goodness, that was back in.
And the distortions are on purpose, because what happens is, like I said, with the regular astrology, you're going to feel that tension when you're actually going through the regular signs. There will be a fight happening each month, and with the Lemurian, there's no fight, because you're not struggling to know what day are we changing over, what minute are we changing over, where is my moon at. It's much more stabilized, but it was done. That distortion was done for a reason, because as that discomfort is happening, your energy is being siphoned off.
Yeah, that's why we put ourselves in bubbles, and I did put us in a bubble before we came together. I always, pray for us and bring in Mother, Father, God.
Well, that was what I was going to ask. We're trying a different formatting this time. We're doing the same things. It's just I wanted to make sure that, because before we were just jumping in and grounding everybody, and everybody was coming in a little bit later. So I just wanted to make sure people were here for the grounding. If you would like to, we can go ahead and hop in and do the grounding exercise. Would that work?
Okay. I think.
Oh, right.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And one last quote plug, but it's not really a plug. The stuff that I've been talking about just now with the Lemurian birth signs. If you go over to my shop, look for your birth date, or of your children or your friends or your pets. They're all the same. Each one is listed. You can click on any of those, the hoodies or the t-shirts or whatever. It won't matter. It will pull up. I put a little bit of the information on each one. So you'll be able to see what your birth sign is in the Lemurian. You will also be able to see what your Stargate is, which is the where the energy is going to be coming through, and also what the essence of each month is. So that's certainly something that you can go through and click if you're more curious about the Lemurian information.
That is really cool. And can I ask you one thing about that there? So we're in a different, okay, we're in the turtle, the sea turtle. Is that correct? No. Okay.
Sea turtle, everybody loves the turtle. I know we all get hung up on the turtle. Sea turtle is the month for March.
Okay, March. And
we're in the month of April, which is the smiling gecko.
The smiling gecko
is the smiling gecko, and it is all about the smile.
Do the days carry a different moon energy? Like
what's gonna it will flavor it just like ours does.
Okay.
The different planets and the different planets and the moon and everything, they'll bring in their own flavor, but it is different for Lemuria. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. I'm putting her links in the comments section, the comments, and in case anyone wants to go over there and look at the Lemurian signs.
You don't have to buy anything, just it's where the information is. And like I was telling Valerie before, there is a pop-up that will happen as you leave the shop. It's only going to happen once every 24 hours. So if you want that, make sure to snag it whenever it pops up. You're going to need, what happens is it pops up. Oops.
Sorry. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, Lord. I shouldn't be playing with the buttons.
Too funny. But what's going to happen is as you go to leave, it's going to ask you for your email, and just put in your email and it will generate a code for you. Copy that code. You're going to need to put that code in. It's a coupon code. So put that if you're going to buy anything at the cart when you get to the cart for the checkout. But it's 20% off for the MP3s that I'm going to be doing here in just a minute, and also for the Lemurian collection.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and slow things down a bit. We've done the chatty thing now. And nice deep breath, everybody. Nice and centered again. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look up and then gently close our eyes. And what we're going to do is imagine a light coming in from above. And it can be any color that it wants to be. Let it go ahead and touch the top of your head and stream down around your eyes, your face, your ears, the back of your neck, around your mouth, chin, throat. Feel it come down through your shoulders and your arms, your elbows, your forearms, out through the wrists and the hands. And that same energy, that same light, let it come down through your chest and pool a little bit in your heart, your lungs, dropping down through your shoulder blades, your back, into your tummy area. And we're going to let it pool just a little bit. We're going to just sit here for just a little bit, let it reach all those cracks and crevices and crannies and nooks, because all of us tend to shove our emotions when we're in a hurry into our tummy areas. So just let that light wash that out and free and clear. Through the hip area, we tend to hold and get stuck sometimes in our little safety loops. So we're going to let that light from above go ahead and just kind of power wash today. Down through the hips, down through the thighs, your knees, your calves, ankles, and feet, out into Mother Earth, Keep that light going. Now, this is the fun part. Mother Earth is actually going to bring up a light from below, and she let that be whatever color it wants to be. She's bringing up an energy for you up through your feet, and you'll feel it pushing up through your ankles, your calves, your knees, your hips, your thighs, back through the hips again. I don't know what you're doing, Mother Nature. We got a washing cycle going today. Through your tummy and to your heart. Now, in your heart space, let both of these meet. And it's going to form a bubble. Now let this bubble go ahead and push out all the way around you so that you're inside of this bubble. Let it be 360 all the way around you. And if the bubble wants to be a different color from the other two, let it. And then let it be out a decent, comfortable space from you. Sometimes that's about 3 feet. If you have a larger energy field, you might even want it out 10 feet from you. Now you can set the intention that only your highest good, only frequencies or energies of your highest good comes through this bubble. And you can do this at any time that you need to recenter yourself throughout your day. It's very helpful if you're going to be out, like if you're an empath and you pick up energy from the world or you're feeling pulled off balance, you can do this resetting so that it's just your energy inside this bubble. It's very helpful if you're going into a mall scenario or your post office or grocery store. Doesn't that feel much better?
It really does. Feels really good.
Great. Okay, well, if you would like, we can go ahead. Do you want me to just launch right into, if everybody's got their critters around? Your critters have probably been bored. They're like, you thought critters today, and we are for the critters today, and the critters are probably like, whatever, get back to you whenever I'm taking a snack or a nap or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Let's go to the healing for the critters. I love the critters. We're critters too, though. This works on us.
We're critters too. Everybody's like, how come you don't do it for humans? I actually was trained for horse and rider with my shiatsu. That's where this energy system comes from. I was trained for horse and rider so that both are balanced. And I discovered through my heart horse, Galahad, we began playing with the energy systems. How far away can you get? And he was the first one that I encountered that was an energy healing horse. And he actually used his nose to move kidney stones on me at the time. And his nose was 18 inches from my hip when that happened.
Wow.
So it's very distinct. Yep. And
so he's not the only horse. He's not the only heart horse that you have.
I've had other horses do this for me too.
Yeah. What a privilege.
When I had my knee injury that happened a couple weeks ago, I sprained my knee. And I was, quite frankly, very miserable for well over a week. And a friend of mine, she has a horse named River. And River is an energy healing horse. And I had mentioned his name. And he reached out and worked through my back and my croup, as we would say on the horses, and down through my leg and my knee. And quite frankly, it dropped the pain relief from an 8 to a 1. It was just an exquisite gift. And I was emotional about it because I thanked him. I mean, it was just huge. It's always a surprise to me whenever they offer it. It's very rare. And he suddenly began sending me images of all the times I have worked on his boo-boos over the years. I have to be honest, I've only encountered energy healing horses. I haven't yet, I have yet to meet an energy healing dog. I know that they heal us in different ways, but I haven't had one yet that specifically worked on me like the horses do. And like I was telling Valerie, kitty cats actually do the purring thing, which is a mechanical healing, which is wonderful as well. So now that the animals all have probably walked off and thought that I've neglected them, but what I was doing the preamble for is what I do is I reach out energetically, and it's quantum quantum mechanics that I'm doing. And so I'm reaching through and working on, I call it a shiatsu template. What it is I will set the energy, the specific direction and flow and energy that it needs to be. And then our energy systems will actually pick up on that and begin vibrating, which is it will act kind of like a tuning fork and will pull our own energy systems into balance. So it will balance the energy system for your animals. You can see them yawning. Yawning is one of the more frequent things that you'll see. Yawning, burping, farting, moving around, snorting, clearing the nose, sneezing, coughing. These are all signs that energy, trapped energy, is moving. And sometimes you won't see anything at all. That's fine too, because that it doesn't matter. It's still going to work. And as Valerie had said before, the energy that's going to be on this MP3 on my MP3s for sale, but more importantly, you can access this show at any point. The energy is still good in the future for any. It's timeless.
Timeless. It's
And
beautiful.
this is this is a right-brained activity for me. So I'm actually going to go quiet while I'm doing this.
Okay.
So I'm going to reach out, and again, you may feel me. If you're sensitive to energy, you may feel me working on you. And if you don't feel anything, don't worry about it. The energy is still working.
Okay.
So I will see you on the other side. Let's get going.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Wow. We got a lot of people today.
Mm-hmm.
At the halfway point. I have some very enthusiastic critters in here today. Usually they get sleepy, but a few of you might actually see your pets get up and being a little bit of a wiggle butt today.
Mm-hmm. Annie Bear says she hears wind, and the wind is whipping outside my window here. Can you hear it? Okay.
Yeah. Not me. For once, I've got rain, but yeah, I'm working on everybody's shoulders right now. Inside. So if you feel a little bit of weirdness around right scapula. That's just me. And what this is doing is, this is a little surprised I'm actually able to talk during this, but it's clearing congestions, which is sluggish energy on the meridians itself. And the meridians are rivers of energy that flow around the body. These are the same. These are the same meridians that an acupuncturist will do, or if you have a massage therapist who does acupressure, it's the same meridians.
Okay.
So we're actually on the right arm, I guess you could say. So if you're feeling me on the arm or the elbow. And we're going down the back. Okay, I'm going to go quiet again because I need to concentrate on this. I'm back on the loins and everything. So just let me get quiet here until I'm finished.
Okay.
I'm going to do just a little bit extra here. Having some animals indicating that they're wanting some facial points, especially done today. So just give me a few more minutes here.
Okay.
Work around the eyes, tear ducts, nose. So if we suddenly get some sneezing or something, it's just me. Some of them are wanting the ears today. This is interesting. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it's okay, everybody. Allergy season. Yeah, this is what this extra support.
That's okay. That's so cool.
Hay fever type. Yeah. That's understandable. And the ears, of course, will itch because all of that sinus drainage is happening too. That made me wonder because when I first started off, there was quite a few, primarily dogs, that had a little bit of a headache. Of course, that could also be from the spring storms. Sometimes whenever you have the barometer shifts.
Yeah.
Okay, and a little bit of extra. The horses just piped up. We have grass changes that are happening, and they have some gut issues that are going to need just a little bit extra support. So don't mind me. We're just going to take a little bit extra here today.
That's good.
And the cats and the dogs are going to feel this on the tummy as well. I know, we're coming into spring, and everybody's like, I want my fresh foods. And then your fresh foods are like, ooh, oh, that was a little bit rich. Oh, gurgle, gurgle.
I really feel it in my gut. That feels really good.
Okay, everybody. You are welcome. Yeah, that was a little more interactive than I expected to be. But that works. That's great. So the critters all feel pretty happy here.
the critters
have today they have
That is so cool. I love that.
If anybody's yawning or whatever, be sure to grab yourself some water too. It needs to be water, not coffee, tea, milk, or juice. It has to be water, because what happens is when I'm working on it, and if you do any yawning or any of the other things that happened, it's actually your body. It's a good sign. Your body has actually released it from your body, and it's in the bloodstream, and so you need to flush it out. Okay, so that's always good to drink a lot of clear, fresh water, clean, fresh water, right? So tell us what you saw. Like, do you see, and do you feel like answering any questions? I'm sorry. How do we get to Debbie's shop? I put the link. Debbie,
It was the first or second link going to your shop.
Both
There's
of them will go to my shop. The top one that I supplied, I don't know how we're seeing this today, but the top one will be the shiatsu template transmission. So if you're looking for the energy MP3 that I just did, the energy system that I just did for all the pets, there are 3 different ones, one for horses, one for cats, one for dogs. Those are the MP3s. That will be the shiatsu template transmissions. So you can go through that link. If you were just interested in going, hey, I want to know what my birth sign is, that's what the merch link is for.
the merch link.
And that will send you to my hoodies, my t-shirts. And what I've done with that is they're listed by your birth month. So it'll be like, say, April 1st through the 28th. The birth signs will always be the first of the month to the 28th of the month. If your birthday falls on the 29th, 30th, or 31st, you're going to see Ma'ita days. And what that means is the crystal light of days. So your birth sign is actually Ma'ita, which is that 13th month. Okay. And the extra days of each month then make up Ma'ita, the central system.
That is cool. That is cool, isn't it, Teresa? I think it's fascinating. You know, we can always utilize all the tools available to us. And
absolutely. Yeah.
And the whales and the dolphins came and talked to her and kind of showed her that.
Yeah, did I tell you about that? When that was first happening to me in 2021, I was doing my morning meditations. I do tend to do, when I have morning meditations, if an animal shows up to me in that stage, I'll usually work on them. I had a humpback female that appeared with her calf right behind it. She said, "Would you mind?" I'd never had that happen before. Wow. It was very interesting. She presented herself and she's like, "I'd like," and it's like, okay. I kind of have to remember what, you know, a whale fluke looks like for the ting points and everything, and for the meridian flow. But yeah.
Yes, Jessry, go there to the second link I put with the merch. Go there and it'll tell you where your birthday, what
just look up your birthday. Each one I've got listed. It's the very first thing. It'll say something like April 1st through the 28th, or May or August, or they go. I place them by the regular calendar date. So you're going to see March and April, and it'll be listed that way. So you can much more easily find it.
Yeah, and she has T-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, all kinds of really cool stuff with that. The name of that sign, is that how the Marian's code sign? Okay.
Yes, and I'll actually have the pronunciation in each one too, so you're not just staring at it going, "Ooh, I don't know about that." what it means. What it's going to sound like. Yeah. Some of them is like, "Ooh, really, that's long."
Annie Bear's been having these flashes of light that she's seen as she shares pictures of plants, and it's like a green light, right, Annie Bear? If I remember from this morning.
Off of the plants themselves, or are they? Let me guess. Are you sending a photo and you didn't see the light initially, but it shows up in the photo?
Or
are you actually seeing them as you snap the photo itself?
She says sometimes. So do you see the? Do you see it? Is that what you're? I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you see it as you actually take the photo? Are you seeing it, or are you only seeing it whenever you share your photo?
She's saying sometimes I see an actual flash over the plants, and it's a green flash. Am I correct, Annie Bear? Aaron said it could be the green man photo bombing you. That could be.
That's going to be elementals, but also the plants themselves are very much alive. Everybody else here is going to know that, because we all know that crystals are alive, of course. Everything is alive. Everything has a vibration. It's very much got its own consciousness. And my guess is that that flash of light is one of two things. Either the plants themselves are giving off that energy and you're actually seeing it because you're in tune with it. You're getting to see it because you're vibrating in the same frequency as the plants.
Yeah. And
And the
she's
other thing
saying
that
this, it's white.
is,
It's more white. So
okay, if it's more of a white, that's the other thing that it's going to be the light coming from the central sun is what that bright white light.
nice.
Those
Oh,
lights.
that is so cool.
And if they're smaller, oh, you're a Copa Nui too. Cool.
Yeah, she's
Wonderful.
a Gemini. And look where she lives by.
Ah, how
Is that,
wonderful.
I mean, how do you make that up? You can't. You can't. That's so
You were
cool.
drawn to it, weren't you? Copa Nui, for everybody else, Copa Nui is actually the birth sign for June.
For
And
June.
that is the sign of the wombat.
Ah.
And I had to go look that up because I'm like, woohoo.
What's the wombats?
Yeah, the essence of that is actually the child. That is the child's essence. And it's not that you're going to have kids. You could have kids if you want. You can have puppies, kittens, holes, but a lot of times it's a lot like, to translate it over into the older Gregorian stuff, it's going to be for the Leo. You know how Leo, people will talk about children in Leo? It's that creativity. So for the Copa Nuis, that is that potentiality that we spoke of earlier.
That is so
absolutely.
That is so cool. I love it. And this is all new coming in through the central sun, through
remembering.
all
this is what this is about. This is so that we can remember. This is old and ancient new is what this is. This is Lemuria 5 that we're in.
Lemuria 5. Now, do you mind explaining that a little bit for us? Lemuria 5?
Everybody kept saying we're coming into the age of Aquaria, and it is the birthing. We already did it. I want to say that was 2021. My years are kind of blending. Might have been 2020. I think it was 2021, but there's different jump off points for it too. And I got to be honest, the timeline splits for that was just intense. It was crazy.
Oh my!
We don't even talk about it. I'm so happy that we're on this side because the stability is a little better now. It was really kind of scary, freaky back then. But what we were doing is the new Lemuria. She was coming in, the planet Matea, and that is Lemuria 5. So we are on planet Matea right now. So if you're listening to this, and that's not to say, I mean, if you want to get sucked down into the other lower, older frequency, you do have that choice. I don't recommend it. You've already won the prize by being here. But you can go back to that if you want to. I'm sorry, I'm pulling faces. It's just,
I don't think our community
to be here and to maintain it. It was so much harder in the old world. I think for
we remember
people that are sensitive to energy. I think it really was harder back then.
And it still is because it's still unraveling, even though we're, because here we are in this, the split is happening still. A lot of us have raised up. Sometimes though, there's something stuck in us.
Well, some of the stuff that we have left over is residual. I don't know if you've ever encountered residual ghosts.
Yes.
Like they're not really an active entity.
Right.
It's just kind of like watching a hologram on a loop. And so what we have is our cells are imprinted, and especially if you're still tied into some of the old matrix energies of television, radio, believing in the news, or believing in power outside yourself, you're going to have that old distortion stuff that still needs to come out. The more that you can stay focused on your plants and your critters and nature, especially, the more grounded you're going to be. Your balance and your energy is going to stay much higher up. Yeah, it's going to be a much easier, more gentler on you. And it does take time to detox. It's the same thing as, people do detox teas, or they especially in the springtime, they'll eat bitters in order to purge the old from the body. And that's uncomfortable sometimes. It takes time. but it will flush itself out. It's the same as this. It's just some residual stuff that just needs to, and you clear it by staying focused on the higher frequencies. And as Valerie said, you know, today we did a chock-a-block full, a lot of stuff. There was a lot of Lorea codes that I did this time through. And at any point you can go back through, re-listen to those.
Yeah.
And it will help. The very first thing that we did straight out of the gate is something that's called zero pointing. And especially if you have old stories, any kind of baggage, listen to the languaging of that very first thing that I said. It will help to collapse the old story.
Okay. And that is. Do you see a point, point where we're all on Lemuria 5, and there isn't any more distortion?
Sure. And you know, everybody right now, everybody is exactly where they're meant to be. There is no right or wrong.
Right.
Everybody, you're not doing it wrong. If you think, oh my God, I screwed up. I yelled at that guy. I shouldn't have yelled at that guy. I'm stuck in the old. No. Ground yourself, bring in the light. And if something's happened that's really emotionally upset you, let that yucky color be a yucky color. And then imagine that yucky color, either you can whisk it off, or you can allow it to just mentally go down into Mother Earth, and she will take care of it for you to get it drained off. You cannot mess this up. You are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. The more that you're aware that there are outer manipulations, outer distortions that are manipulating you, and it's just old distortions. It was for the old way that the life was working. We're in the bumpy, turbulent stuff because we're going into the new, and nobody knows fully what the new looks like, but the new looks pretty good. It feels pretty good. So if you can aim for whatever feels good to you, that's what you're aiming for.
Yeah. And that higher frequency, right? That to aim for it is what makes your heart smile? What do you love and value? And when I say love, I mean unconditionally love. And
what makes you laugh?
What lights you up? Yes, what lights you up? And I did want to show everybody, I did pick a card way back when. This is the Sacred Travelers deck, and it was First Light, beginning a new cycle.
How perfect.
So I think that is just perfect, because it even talks about death and rebirth in the description, just like
letting go of the old.
Yeah.
Letting go of the old. That's all that death means. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're focusing more and more on our joy. And I think that's and plus this community, right? It's a pretty big community. We all watch each other's shows. There's all throughout the day, I see these people all day, like they're my best friends, you know, and it just brings in this beautiful vibration. And when we're all together, you just feel it. You feel so much more. It just is a beautiful feeling. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I love that we're all here together, and we all remember together, and we're going forward together. Does anyone have any questions for Debbie?
Any questions, or if there's any extra added energy healing that's needed?
Oh, yeah. Or anybody's pets need anything? I know. You can't make it up. Diana's. She had her dogs in her car yesterday in her garage. She was getting ready to run up to the park and take them for a walk. She left them in there about maybe a few minutes, comes back, and her back windshield is busted through. Nothing, no rock, nothing there. Nothing could have done it. She said it wasn't too cold in the garage. So, but her dogs, right, got a shock, especially the little one, Grizzly. And, you know, she did do some healing with him yesterday, but still, oh my goodness, poor little guy. He just had a jolt, a sudden jolt to his body. Yeah, it is a place to call home, Jessry. It is beautiful. So do you see him doing okay?
Oil painter, let me go ahead and I'm just going to send some extra energy.
Well, fight with the light. You know, everybody comes and goes in springtime. We're starting to get ready to go out. Everybody comes around. Or they're moving on and they're moving into something that resonates more with them.
I agree with you on the whole. It's getting a lot lighter and a lot warmer outside, and everybody's itching to play in their gardens. They're outside tending to things that they've had to wait for. You know, in the wintertime, it's not a great time to be outside. So
Right. Yeah, and you get and look, this is even longer than the winter time. This has been a 5 year long trek through the mud of, pandemic to this to this. It's just getting to that point where it's feeling about ready to go outside and create and play in the sun and do things together. Um, but I know I haven't really wanted to go far at all from my house, but I think, I kind of got used to that uh, pandemic, staying at home stuff. And I love doing this, right? I'm here with
it's
y'all.
perfect for introverts, right? Moment for the introverts to shine. We're like, we're on this. We can do
Yeah,
this.
yeah. And there's always something to learn. Oh, and I wanted to say, I had this crystal the other night when I was with Diana, and it's called arginine. I can't say it right. It's Aegrine. It's a smoky quartz with arginine in it. It's really good for psychic attacks and real deep stuck emotions. Um, it's always up here, but I have it around, and I grabbed it the other day during the full moon, and I couldn't think of the name of it to save my life. So here we are. I found it. Um, oh, Teresa has a question. Where's Teresa Ford? Sorry. Is there a book about Lemurian birth signs that you'd recommend, Debbie?
I don't actually have a book. I learned from a man named Huna Flash that is on YouTube. You can look
I'm gonna
him
put
up.
him in there.
All
Yeah.
kinds of, but what Huna, and then just Flash, FLASH. He has a lot of live stream information that you can dip into. I actually took a course with him. When I first started my course, it was called Navigators of the First Light, and it has now morphed into, I think, Dragon Masters, which is appropriate. This year is the year of the dragon.
The dragon, yeah. So cool. And he is on, he has a YouTube channels on Sundays, I believe, like for about 3 hours a day.
So once a week, if you have questions about it, you have to come on to the live stream with him for that. Now I will give you a heads up. Right now, he is actually traveling and is busy working on stargates on the planet. So he may be sporadic on his shows, but once he's back, his home base is actually in Mexico. So once he's finished traveling, he'll touch down there, and he'll be more easier to contact. But he's already got a whole bunch of stuff that you can go into and look at.
Has a lot of information on his channel, on his okay.
And I'm giving you the teeniest, tiniest beginning parts of the Lemurian birth signs.
Yeah, because we're trying to, it's a new information coming in, right? That's all that's coming in.
I can give you the birth signs, and what I'm going to start with is just the birth signs. But to give you an idea, there are also names for the days of the week as well, because those were another time slip where we've had our energy and our time taken from us.
Yeah, just like with the calendar year being 12 months, and well, goodness, they've narrowed it down, right? The 40-hour work week, and you've got to do this and this and this, and all your time is sucked up for.
And there again, you're looking at how perfect is that for a Capricorn. A Capricorn just loves schedules, just loves regiments like that. I mean, they thrive on that. Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no right or wrong to it.
No, but we did get a little, our energy got confiscated there for a while.
Oh, it
I
didn't just
feel.
get confiscated. It's still, that's part of why I'm bringing forward the information. The whales basically shoved me and said, same with the dolphins. You need to start teaching the people this because they need to regather that energy back. Which, I mean, look at the dolphins. Oh my word! I want
Well,
that
let
energy.
me hear what they said to you before we go, because somehow we got off of that. The whales, the humpback mom whale and the calf came in to your meditation and asked you, go ahead, to
Do the energy balancing. So very similar to what I just did. She
okay.
asked me specifically to go over her meridians for her.
Oh, for her. Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
cool.
it was quite interesting and quite a unique. And as large as a horse is, and I'm quite used to those, the whales are just obviously massive.
Thank God.
So
And did it work? I mean, her meridians got.
She was thrilled. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, Cat Mama does have a question.
Uh-huh.
I can get it up here, Cat Mama. Here we go. My kitty Nino
months on end.
has, I know, he's a crusty spot on his left shoulder for months. I have no idea what it is.
Cat Mama, if you could just go to either my website, debbiediment.com, or to my Debbie Diment shop, either one of them will have a contact me up at the top. Fill that out for me and just send me a specific message so that I can connect with you on that.
There's her email.
In that location, if it's high up, he's probably going to have some sort of issue with his digestion system. If it's where I'm going to be. Well, the thing is, it's kind of like what happened with my knee. When my knee had its accident, I debated if I was going to upchuck or not to be gross, but I knew instantly the reason why is because the stomach meridian runs through the exact area that got pulled out of position, out of that joint.
And she stepped wrong. She stepped on. That's how she hurt her knee.
Yeah,
she stepped off the chalk.
Yeah, let's just say that the foot stayed and the knee went. And I don't want to get more graphic than that, but I'm pretty sure that I dislocated it. But we won't go into the gory details. That was pretty traumatic for everybody.
Saying it, Huna, Huna Flash, and look up on YouTube.
Yes.
Huna Flash on
and
YouTube.
He's going to have a ton of stuff in the lives because each week he does a live session. And like I said, you can ask him questions, but you're going to have to come onto his live stream video to ask him.
Sorry. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, if you want to ask him questions, he does it live, and he wants you to come on live, right?
Oh, I don't mean to interrupt, but with Cat Mama, if you don't want to do that for Nino, I know you've been on here several times with me. Go back through Valerie's playlist for my videos. Find where I've done the MP3 part, where I've done the shiatsu balancing part. It will be right after the grounding. Play that for him. And it's a little dull, but you can just keep rewinding it and playing it and rewinding it and playing it until we can actually talk specifically about him.
That's awesome. Now, see, I'm always like this. Any kind of skin irritations, I use castor oil on myself or my pets, and just a little. Just need a little, and it usually clears it right up. I don't know if that's an option. I'm not a medical professional, just so we're clear. That's just the stuff I've learned. But definitely get a hold of Debbie and have that conversation. And Debbie, you're going to come back next month with me? We're doing this every month.
We're doing this monthly, and next month is going to be the woohoo. For me, it's going to be the celebration for the Lemurian New Year.
Okay. So, okay. Well, how come this is the New Year in June? I like this. And then, so go, okay.
On Planet Matea, in Lorea, the light of the planet, the undistorted light, actually touches the tip of New Zealand first. So that is actually how the Lemurian calendar is set by. And what happens is, I hope I'm saying this right, Matariki, the Pleiades, is going to rise over New Zealand, over that point. And that is what marks the Lemurian New Year. So the beginning of the new year. So everybody else is in 2024, which I've been in 2024 for a while now. So I'm getting ready to actually go into 2025. So I'm standing with one foot in each world, basically.
That is so cool. Well,
it's a little awkward sometimes because I have to remember where everybody else is. And it's like, oh yeah, you guys are still doing that. Okay.
I know. It's like, how much longer do we have to watch that play out? That's always my question. Like, my goodness.
Well, there again, if you have yourself, and everybody will know this pretty much, it's here. If you're in your garden with your critters playing around, or you're taking your hike in nature, or walking on the beach,
you don't really see it.
Timeless. You don't have a calendar. It is really timeless at that point.
Yeah, it is, and I do love that.
Every time. So
I love that. I do. I love it, but I don't. As soon as you hear a blip of the news, or you're scrolling on your phone, and all of a sudden something shoves up.
News is just lies.
Oh, I know that. But hi, pure visionary psychic medium, Terry, and but and news is just lies, right? But when you're whatever you're doing, and you got your phone in your hand, and something just hits you,
jumps in your face.
Yeah.
Okay, if it jumps in your face, do a quick body scan. Are you angry? Are you pissed off? Are you upset? Are you suddenly fearful? Are you suddenly afraid that your power is outside? Somebody's threatening you. If you said yes to any of that, it's a manipulation.
Okay.
A tiger is not jumping up to eat you unless a physical tiger is actually jumping out of the jungle in India, Siberia, wherever, to eat you. If you're on a quote unquote news site, and I'll just say it, the news right now, as it stands, is a manipulation. Like really scary manipulation. Like you can't trust it. You really can't even trust what you're seeing.
No, you can't. You can't, because videos can be made into anything.
My favorite manipulation I saw, actually, no, I'm not even going to go there because I know the distortion. But when you start looking into it, if you start asking yourself, could this be manipulated? Don't listen to somebody else outside. Ask your body, is this thing manipulated?
Right.
If your gut, or if you hear in your mind's eye a yes, there's your answer.
Yeah, I agree. And see, Teresa Ford, I got rid of cable a long time ago. I choose what I watch. And I choose to be here with all of you. I love that we're all together, hanging out, doing our thing. And Debbie, I do hope your knee heals quickly.
Thank you. It's well on its way.
Good. And we will see you all next month with Debbie. And thank you for going to her site and checking things out. We love you, and we will see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow night with Allie. I'll be on her Allie Heart and Soul Connected at 9 p.m. Eastern. Till then, I'll see you then. We love you. Be safe out there.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you.